I get to the desert from Wisconsin? Okay, well, Wright got here, but not unlike that, somebody that came to work for Wright was a man named Paolo Soleri. And so Neil Krieger, who was with Wenzler, his parents published Arizona Highways magazine. They were the publishers. Krieger Lithography published that magazine. So he had reason to come to Arizona occasionally, right? And then Michael was sort of the bad boy gadabout that was the right guy, and he was really a pretty intense character with a capital C, and good influence. And so anyways, there was going to be a bridge built across the harbor in Milwaukee. And so Michael knew that Paolo Soleri's hobby, avocation, if you will, he liked bridges. And so he did all these great bridge designs. So he just on a lark invited him to lecture at the art museum and told him the story about the bridge being considered. And so Paolo arrived with these long scroll drawings, 50, 60 feet long, or maybe 30 feet. They were big, rolled down on the floor of the museum. And he had done 3 schemes for a bridge along with his lecture. And I got pretty excited about Paolo Soleri, the visionary, working on these ideas of cities and ecology and talking about solar and all this stuff way before it was a popular thing. And so in the summer of '67, he ran a summer workshop at his studio. Have you been to Paolo's studio at Cosanti?
I know, I've been dying
That's
to
on
go.
your list, okay? That's a must do. Yeah. Because the studio here, it's old, it's tattered, it's been there for almost 60 years now. And it's sort of sad, but it's in Paradise Valley, so it's easy for you to get to. And I arrived on a summer's day on an airplane and took a bus actually out to the corner of Scottsdale Road and Camelback. Stayed at a little, what was then called a summer resort, a winter resort. They closed in the summer, so you got cheap board because it didn't have air conditioning. It just had that. And a couple guys had cars, so we drive up. And I was a summer student of Paolo Soleri's, and my only 2 credits in architecture officially is for that silk tile workshop with Paolo Soleri.
Wow.
But it just, again, to be with a genius. He was in his early 40s. He'd been climbing his mountain forever. He came out of Italy, worked with Wright for about 2.5, 3 years. Went and started his own thing, did a thing called the Domed House, which you should look up. It's amazing, the little domed house he built in Cave Creek with a colleague named Mark Mills. That was pretty special and really inventive. It was the model of that house is in the Museum of Modern Art. It has been for quite a while. But it was interesting because this lady arrived on Model A Ford. He and Mark Mills had camped on the side of Camelback Mountain. And it was late summer, and this lady drove up in a Model A Ford, and she just bought land up in Cave Creek. And at that point, it was probably a 4-hour drive from Camelback Mountain. No roads, dirt up to there. That's where the gold mines were and stuff, but there was just these people, right? And she hired them to do this house. She was from Pittsburgh. She was quite connected society-wise and all this stuff, but she was quite outrageous and a cool person. And so the 3 of them set up tents on the property and designed this teeny little house of about maybe 900,000 square feet that would become iconic and legendary, okay? And they started building the house. They gathered the rock up so it was similar to what you get at Taliesin. And desert masonry sort of construction. There was this idea of a dome that would open. It was going to be a winter house, so you'd close it at night, and you'd open in the daytime and capture the sun. And there was a sculpted floor in it and all this stuff. And so they start building the house, the 3 of them, Mrs. Woods and Mark and Paolo. And lo and behold, at spring break, who arrives but the debutante daughter? Okay, and suddenly Kali is working on the house. And so when the house was finished, Mark Mills got the tools, Granny got the house, and Paolo got the wife. And so he and Kali became married shortly after. He went back to Italy for a while, and then he returned here and started his endeavor. And he's a visionary. He was not about, concerned about mankind and the universe, the capital A reasonable person, but singularly focused as a genius that was not. He could lecture, he could write, he's probably the most famous architect from Arizona other than Frank Lloyd Wright. I mean, he was just, and sadly did not build very much.